Good evening and welcome to the Polls with Lantern News. Today we bring you another edition where we bring you Nigeria's hottest trends, pressing issues and breaking stories. Tonight, billionaire wealth in Nigeria has soared by 36.5% in 2025, while ordinary citizens face the worst cost of living crisis in years. What does this mean for inequality and the future of our economy? Joining us to unpack these, economic analyst Yunusa Abdulhamid is with us. Welcome, Mr. Abdulhamid.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, the report by Oxfam Nigeria recently released today just said the wealthy in Nigeria has increased their wealth by 36.6%. I'm not sure if I get that figure right, but yeah, thereabouts. And the case for the ordinary citizens is completely different. We are overtaxed, we are financially pressed, cost of living has soared, rent, water. It's like you're earning, you're not earning, the money is not doing anything. I don't know how do we balance that?
Yeah, I think this is a familiar case, I would say. This has been the trend over the years. And it's unfortunate that nothing seems to have changed because every year we take this report or we listen, we read, we complain, and everyone go back to their various homes or offices, hoping that things will change. Things have never changed. I think it's high time that the government, the individuals, the wealthy learn to redistribute this because I'm afraid it might get to a point where these people, the masses, I would say, the masses are using it loosely to mean the people who are poor because it's like between the poor and the rich now, the billionaire. It will get to a point where they will feel frustrated that the billionaires might not find it easy anymore. This is not a threat, this is a reality. Because a situation where a few people, maybe less than 100, are richer than millions of people. I don't know how they sleep well. I don't know how they feel better about themselves when the people around them are struggling. Just about an hour ago or so, I stumbled on a story, not a story per se, a message that was posted online by an individual who said he purchased some items. He had a receipt of what he bought in 2020, like grocery. He went grocery shopping, so he still has the receipt. So he went back in January 2026 to buy the entire items on that list to compare and contrast. Look, in 2020, that is, he spent 25,000 naira on those grocery items. In 2026, he spent over 147,000 naira. What that means, let's quickly break it down, is that it represents, that inflation, if you like, represents over 500%. Now, if you are working like a salary earner, since 2020, there have been no increment in your salary, or even if it was increased, but if it was not increased up to 6 times, it means that you are poorer actually. That is the meaning. So it's getting worse. It's unfortunate, and I hope that maybe it's not just talk and that something significant will be done by every one of us to ensure that there is some kind of what's the opposite of inequality?
Equality. Or
Equality.
Equity. So the what is appealing or appalling, I would say, is the Buhari government during their time. There were a lot of handouts. There were a lot of programs he initiated, and these are some of the money that we are dragging the Malami for today. Apparently, the agricultural funds that were worth billions of dollars, the Buhari government allowed to have access, so poor farmers can access maybe easier, cheaper seeds, cheaper machineries to aid their work, of course, because we need to feed. a few percentage siphon this money. I don't know at what point we are going to hold our leaders accountable. I don't know what other means we are going to use to track them and say when we catch them with this money, because even the Abacha loot that we said we are getting back, we are relooting it. So it's like even if you try to get it back, somebody else is relooting it and it's not getting any better.
I'm sure that the Abacha loot, let me start from there, you spoke about, is probably part of why the former Attorney General is being investigated by the EFCC
Oh yeah.
right now, plus the palliative handout. I support the use of that language. Handout is what it is. Handout, what does handout mean? It's like a drop in the ocean. Yet, as little as that is, because by the time you distribute it across the mass of people who need this handout, you will see that it's actually insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people still have the guts, if you like, the mind to redirect this handout to their personal pocket. To what end? Now, it's clear that our problems are not far-fetched. We know the source of our problem. That our problem are people who get the opportunity of being in charge, because everyone cannot be there. They help themselves from the till. They take so much for themselves, for their wife, for their children, and even some unborn. The worst of it all is that they take what they don't even need. What does an individual need over 200 billion naira for?
Well, this is also the mindset with a lot of young people in Nigeria. I don't know if it's going to get any better, because when you see a young child and you ask them, what do you want to be? You know, everybody, either they want to be a politician, they want to be a Yahoo boy. This is because they want stupendous wealth. A young boy wants to drive the car that a director has spent 25, 30 years in service to acquire. The young boy wants to drive that kind of car. He wants to hold the phones that somebody has that spent years working. So there's this crave, there's this urging for sudden wealth that everybody wants to just spend, live flenjo, live the life, spend it how they want. It's scary because this is our reality. So should we say we need to go back to the home front? We need to go back to our religious spaces and we need to go back to our traditional spaces? Or should we still continue blaming our leaders? Because
I think there are two reasons for this: impunity and lack of discipline. When a Nigerian is saying, "Do you know who I am?" What is he or she saying? He's telling you that, look, I can do anything and nothing will happen. And indeed, there have been so many that nothing really happens. You understand? So impunity is the cause of it. And the young people you are talking about, they are not stupid. They have eyes, they have ears. They see what is happening. They see that when people steal from, what does not belong to them, they are treated with kids' gloves, so to speak. And some of them, the children, their parents, worked hard in the civil service and even in the business, private sector, trying to be honest. And how did they end up? They come back to meet shame waiting for them. Their community, their family insult them and say, look at your mate. You say you were an honest person. Look at A, B, C, Mr. A, Mrs. Z, how they made it. And because of this, young people are gradually losing the patience. I'm not in any way justifying the shortcut. It is not. And it is not sustainable, actually. What I think we should do is for us to come back to stop impunity. Let everyone be held accountable. Let's be responsible. Look, we will come here. You know, Nigerians, we are very quick at comparison. We say, look, if you go to UK, if you go to Germany, if you go to America, you don't hear people, even when they want to make reference to neighboring countries, you say, evil in Ghana, evil in Cameroon. That evil has already reduced, you understand what I mean? It has already reduced your neighboring country to say, it's a small country, they don't even do this. We should also learn and imbibe what it is that make the system of these people we like to refer to that we use as examples, what make them system strong? Their institutions are working, and if you are caught, you are disciplined, you are punished for it. So once we manage to instill discipline and there is consequences for our actions, you will see people will start adjusting. And for how long? For example, I do not seek to take you away from this topic, but just an example. For the banditry, kidnapping, and the rest of that has become something for the past 20 years or thereabout. It's getting worse by the day in Nigeria. How many people have you heard have been punished severely? There are some states that passed the
law,
the
act,
the penalty, the death penalty. Have you heard of one person who has been so punished? Because the people who perpetrate this, they know that, look, nothing will happen. Some governors will be reluctant to sign it because of political reasons or for whatever reason, relevance, and they keep on doing it. See, let's have some scapegoat, whether it's a politician. How many politicians have we known that were convicted to have stolen money that were punished? What do you hear? They're either pardoned, or either a pardon, or they are just given a slap on the back. There's a particular governor from the South who was governor for 8 years. After the conviction, he was fined 1 million naira. 1 million naira. So how do you move on from that? Let's stop, in summary, let's stop impunity. If you, whether you are a young person, whether you are an old person or whatever, when you commit, let the law take its course. Then let us live by examples, because the children, they are watching. If you don't show example, they will tell you they know how to steal more than you, and it is not sustainable. It will destroy us all. May we not get to that point.
I'm tempted to say amen. Also, I think we can just touch on another topic where we are missing the whole point. There has been a lot of brouhaha on the invasion of US into Nigerian soil because of the Christian genocide conversation in Nigeria. So recently, sometime today or yesterday, the New York Times released another report where they said a certain Emeka who sells screwdriver, they're basing off the information that is where the United States is basing its evidence from, to say, oh, this is what is happening. But we're also here when the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, yes, I am coordinating with the Americans when they sent those things to Sokoto. I am coordinating. We gave them the intelligence to say, go to Sokoto. And we also know there are news and reports that Lakurawa, that's the Nigerian version of ISIS, that is their roots in Nigeria. But now, sometime last week, we also hear that a certain Republican lobbyist firm in America were paid $9 million to counter false narrative about Nigeria with Trump. So, do you think this is do you think the story about the screwdriver man is true? Do you think there's anything sinister? What do you think about this?
Yeah, let's start with the screwdriver thing. I would like to say that New York Times is a respected, long-standing news medium. I want to believe that their report is just to bring this information to the fore so that the public can determine where they make their judgment on it. But I would like to say that I personally do not believe that America will take such a decision about intervention in another country, will take such a decision, such a serious decision based on a roadside mechanic guy or screwdriver seller, because Nigeria is not the only place that America talks about in terms of foreign policy, in terms of government administration wise. Whether past or present administration, even in the future, I think is something that is good to continue. The Emeka guy might report, whether it's real or, chopped up, might have just been a straw. Maybe just you want to leech a dog and you call it a bad name kind of thing. Otherwise, I think they should have asked whoever the maker is to prove what empirical evidence does he have, how did he generate his data. There are other more reliable either individuals or agencies in Nigeria that you should check with, not one roadside screwdriver seller. I don't know, it does not make sense at all. This is why I feel like the American administrations, they have their foreign policy. Whatever they did not take that decision just yesterday. No country does that. So to be blaming it on Emeka 100%, I don't think that is correct. I do not believe that. But to just cut that short, we know that it is not only Christians that are being killed in Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
Muslims are also being killed everywhere. The criminal who are responsible for the killings, some of them are also profess to be Muslims. Some of them probably are Christians. Some of them are probably animists. But there is a common denominator among them. They have one thing in common. They are criminals. They are evil. Nobody go about killing people without reason. For whatever they might, there is no reason they will advance that will ever make sense to me personally, because if they think they are being marginalized, assuming that is, I'm just assuming that is their reason. They are not the only one being marginalized. They are not the only poor people. As I speak, I feel marginalized too, in different form. That is the truth. So should we all rise up and be killing everyone that comes our path and say because we are marginalized? No, that is not the way to go about it. This is the job of criminals and not about Muslim killing Christian as genocide or Christian killing Muslims. That is what I would just say about that. What was the other question you asked about the Lakurawa thing? Nigerians were even wondering why it has to start from Sokoto. I
think the problem is that we have lost a lot of faith in our leaders.
Yeah.
That for everything they do,
yeah,
we always look for something negative to hinge it on. It's like once we feel like they are winning or there's something positive, we look for something very negative and we pin it and say this. Because everybody knows Borno and Adamawa has been the hotbed for insecurity in Nigeria. The Middle Belt too. And recently, of course, some part of the South, Southwest, different levels of criminality.
Niger to Northwest.
Exactly, different kinds of criminality happening. But the thing is, Sokoto being the seat of the caliphate, Sokoto being the pinnacle for the Muslims in Nigeria, because that's the seat of the Sultan in Nigeria, has relatively been peaceful, aside from a little attack here and there because of its boundary between Sokoto, Zamfara, and all. You don't really hear. So Nigerians were concerned because some farmers were even saying, "Oh, it's in our farm and nothing happened."
I saw a video clip of them dragging an unexploded ordnance, they call it, and now read in the news that the military were begging them to return it. As a layperson, I was wondering, what do you want to do with it? It has been thrown. So if they want it, well, if it explodes in their hand, they don't use their head. That is their Torah. What do you want? Why do you want it back? That's just on a lighter note. For me, I think that anywhere, whether it's in Sokoto, whether it's in Maiduguri, that is the northeast, or whether it's in the southwest, wherever there are criminals, they need to be rooted out. Yeah. They need to be dealt with. Not just a Sokoto thing. They need to be uprooted because, like I said, it is not sustainable because we will end up having self-annihilation. Like you kill each other to the death. So it does not make sense. And also talking about losing faith. There are some people individuals who I don't know them, but they might be faceless, who I think that they benefit during the time of crisis like this.
Oh, yes.
When you spoke about the reported $9 million. Now there is crisis. Some people are going to benefit from that.
Oh, yes.
Who told you that it is impossible that some individuals we create some artificial crisis so that business, in quotes, there will be business. Okay? You are spending from this end, you are spending from this end. The same individuals who are orchestrating the challenge are the ones that are trying to
Quell it.
to quell it. So both ways they are benefiting. And while the blood of the innocent is flowing, we are saying this should stop. It should stop already, please. We are tired of the blood, because when this insecurity happening here and there, do you even have time to take up research? You don't have time for school. You don't have time. There are some schools that are closed down right now. They postpone their resumption, and they are pretending like because they are innovative school or whatever. But the truth of it is, they did all of this because of insecurity. When the children, the source of this insecurity, if you trace it, experts, analysts have often said is because of illiteracy, because of low economic, maybe lack of job, unemployment, if you like. So if people are illiterate and they don't have job and they now resort to criminal activities because they are offered little money, and the situation degenerates to a point that a larger percentage of children still do not go to school because of insecurity. Don't you foresee that even in the nearest future, a worse scenario is going to happen?
Yeah. I completely agree, and it's scary to think that if we are not careful, we might be faced with a more dangerous challenge.
Exactly.
Because in 2009, I remember where they said, if we don't fix this Boko Haram issue, in 10 years from now, the whole country will be engulfed with the crisis. And some people in the southwest, some in the southeast, some in the middle belt, everybody just felt it's not our business. They should be killing themselves there. And today we have all forms of, it's now a full-blown industry that everybody's benefiting from it.
Exactly.
So we'd like to say thank you, Mr. Yunus, for gracing us with your presence and for this in-depth analysis. For our viewers, we'd like to say thank you for joining us on today's segment of the Polls on the Lantern News. Do well to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our other social media handles on the Lantern News. Thank you once again and goodbye. My name is Lawrence Joshua.